Hi, I'm Tyson Franklin, and welcome to this week's video. I want to talk to you about incentives and incentives for employees, people that work part of your team. I've had a number of employers say to me recently that they feel their podiatry team underperforms if they're not paid bonuses and incentives. Now, I think there's a bit of a problem here, and there's a bit of misunderstanding on what incentives are all about. If you look up the definition of incentives, it's all about paying someone something extra to change their behavior. Now, this makes total sense in the sales world, where you need people to arrive early, stay late, try and see more customers, because the more they sell, the more the business makes and the more that they get paid. That makes total sense. But when it comes to podiatry and it comes to healthcare in general, I think it's the biggest load of BS, because I think when you're with the patient, it's about the patient. It's not about you. It's really got nothing to do with you. It's about giving the patient 100% attention and the care that they need. End of story. And if there's other services that you should be offering to them, you shouldn't be sitting there thinking, oh, do I get paid a bonus if I offer this? You should just offer it anyway. And yes, if your employer makes more money, great. They actually own the business. They're the ones who have got their balls on the line and they're risking everything if things downturn. You know, during COVID, there were a few businesses there that really struggled, but employees still got paid. So just keep that in mind. Anyway, so what you can remember is when you're with the patient, you have an agreement with that patient that you are going to help them as much as possible. Your incentives and bonuses is the agreement you have with your employer. So just remember, when you're with the patient, it's all about them, not about you. If you want to talk about incentives or bonuses, have a talk to your employer about that. But once you agree on something, you've signed the dotted line, you've signed that employment agreement. When you're with the patient, it's about them. It's no longer about you, and you give them 100% attention and you give them the treatment that they need, regardless of how you're being paid. The incentive shouldn't really matter, because incentives are about behavior. What we're talking about here, when you're with the patient, is attitude. So you got to think, do you have the right attitude? If you're there thinking, I'm not going to do that for the patient because I'm not getting paid any extra for it. If it's the best thing for the patient and you're not prepared to do it, you're not a nice person. And maybe you should leave the profession. And I don't want people to leave the profession. I want people to stay. I want people to stay in the podiatry profession. So if you're not happy with what you're being paid, talk to your employer. See if there's other arrangements. There may be incentives, but don't use incentives on how you work with your patients. You should be working with them the same way regardless. If I agreed to work somewhere for 85, 100, 120, wouldn't matter what the job was, whatever I agreed upon, when I'm with the patient there and then, it would have no influence over the treatment that I actually recommended. And I can honestly say the people that used to work with me in my old clinic, rarely did we ever talk about money, incentives, bonuses. They just did their job, and they did it really, really well. And I think as an employee, if you're watching this video, just remember, you're a health professional. Be professional. When you've got the patient in the room, give them 100% regardless of what you're getting paid. Do what's best for the patient. If you're an employer and you're watching this, reward the people in your business that are giving the patients 100%. It's not about them doing more orthotics or anything like that. It's just about them being part of the team and making your business run better. And I think everybody should be rewarded for the work and effort they put in. But really think about it this way. If you rock up on time, you leave on time, you enjoy your lunch break, you sit around, eat your sandwich, have a burger or something like that. If you don't do anything over and above what is just expected of you to be a podiatrist, you put your podiatry hat on, you do your podiatry work, then don't expect bonuses and incentives. But if you arrive early, leave a bit later, during the lunch hour, you do a few adjustments if they're needed doing. You ask your employee, ask your other teammates, do you need a hand with anything? If you're doing more than what's expected, that's how you get incentives. That's how you get bonuses. You earn them. It's not a rite of passage that you must be given an incentive or bonus. Just remember, like I said before, your employer, the person that owns the business, they are taking all the risk. If things go south all of a sudden, you can just leave and go get another job, because there's a lot of jobs around at the moment. So just remember, they're risking everything. You're not risking anything. You're just doing your job. But I believe you should be getting paid well for it. But I don't believe you should be influenced to treat your patients any different just because of an incentive. If you're enjoying this video, like I've been saying the last few weeks, please subscribe and tell your podiatry friends these videos exist. Unless you have none, then it's fine. You're off the hook. You can just keep them to yourself. I hope you get something from that, and I will talk to you again next week. Bye.